Warning, the following program is not for the weak-hearted, those who are closed-minded, or in general, you're scared to learn what's behind closed doors. Here at Sapphire's Earplay, I want you to pour the wine, grab somebody that you want to hold on to, or better yet, get the vibrations stimulated through your body. Get ready for one hell of an orgasm in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What is up, all my sexy motherfuckers out there in Radio Land? It's your girl, Sapphire. And oh my goodness, I lied to you guys. I totally lied. I did say, the Sinners from Dusk Till Dawn episode was actually going to be the closing orgasm of the year. But you know what? I lied. But you guys are going to be happy and satisfied with my next guest. Yes, I have a certified urologist, fellow island girl. Dr. Suelyn Hall is a trailblazer in the urologist biz, y'all. She is an advocate for holistic wellness, an author, and today we're going to be talking about her latest book, which is called How to Get Ahead. Yes, emphasis on the head, y'all. Dr. Suelyn Hall, welcome. I gotta bring in the rowdy frat boys to bring you in. Dr. Suelyn, get ready for probably one of the most interesting conversations you've ever had. See, they love you already. They love you already.
Yes. I'm glad to be here.
I'm so glad to have you on. Oh my goodness. So where do we start? I mean, first of all, you are one of the very few female urologists in the country, correct? I believe one of 50.
Yes.
So
that's when I started. It was one of 50. They're now 1,000.
Oh my goodness.
We're still just 1% of the 10,000 male urologists. So it's still a very elite group.
Now, speaking of this such elite group, for those out there that are like, a urologist, why do you got the penis doctor, a female penis doctor, if that, talking about my penis? I have to say, do you feel that having male clientele and knowing that they have a female doctor to talk to, do you think you make the men a little bit more comfortable in talking about, their penile health, their issues?
Yes.
I feel like that's a little bit more comforting, that you're easier on the eyes to most.
Yes, it's so funny. So in my 25 years of board certified urology, I've really realized that people feel comfortable because they know I care, and they feel comfortable being able to express their very intimate questions and desires even to a female. And I think maybe that makes them even more comfortable, that they have a good listening ear. They really want to be heard, and men want to be respected. And in my experience over the years, what I hear from patients is that they also want to be loved and stimulated, and their desires are very important to them.
It's funny.
And
when you're saying this, because I'm like, okay, men wanting to feel loved, desired, but yet, reading your book, and it seems like the men were just flat out like, I need to be pleasured. I need to be pleased. It seems like you were saying like the housewife effect. I myself just got married, but my husband and I, we started as a very open, polyamorous, kinky couple. Never thought marriage was going to be on the table. In fact, marriage was like the last thing off our minds. And then lo and behold, 9 years later, COVID, we decided, you know what, let's just dive in. Let's get married. But the one thing that has stayed true, one thing that has stayed true, and thank you, is sex. Sex is very, I would say probably most of our friends who are married or in heavily monogamous relationships, we have more sex than them. We have come to terms with the fact that we probably have more sex than the average couple. So flipping this with your clientele who is dealing with less sex, less communication, what would you say is the biggest thing, the biggest hurdle that might happen for married folks out there? Married sex is not the fun sex anymore. It's more of a chore. I have to do this.
Right. So one of my main titles that I like to express is the wedding cake is not the last time to give head. And so I think that men appreciate that. They'll appreciate that specific line because a lot of people get very comfortable. They get comfortable with having children, with business of marriage, work, everything else, rather than being egoless and caring about each other. The wedding cake, people talk about getting married. They only talk about all the bridesmaids and everybody involved in the wedding. And they don't talk about what are your needs going forward? What are we going to do to help each other continue our happiness that when we first met, that excitement. I've been married 31 years now, and that is a very important part of our relationship in regards to being caring for each other, but being very loving, but also physical for each other. And that is very important. And some people deny their spouses that privilege of enjoying each other. It actually is one of the best ways to reduce stress. And as I will explain, dopamine, which is the neurotransmitter that is with pleasure, and oxytocin, the love hormone, very important in reducing cortisol, or stress hormone, that is, responsible for immune dysfunction, heart disease. So actually pleasing and being pleased is so important in reducing overall health, improving overall health and reducing stress, which we have every day.
Absolutely.
And sexually is the most important way to do that.
Yes. And I love how, in the book, I highlighted so much. And you know me, guys, I love to read. So especially when you're giving me something so tantalizing to read about, one of the favorite things early on in the book is you keep saying this: blowjobs are not a job. Now, ladies and gentlemen, despite what we think, I always thought the word blowjob is just, first of all, ugly. So I agree with you. And even just like, give me some head, depending upon the reference of we've had the song Shauna's, getting some head. And I love that because it was talking about female and male pleasure at the same time, talking about head. But I feel like there's no real sexy way to suck dick.
Say it. So it really is, because you are really enjoying yourself from it. Women don't realize that they can receive pleasure by giving pleasure. And that's why it's not a job. It's, job for most people just over rope really should be just oral bliss. That's my favorite way to describe that job.
I love it. She's dropping the gems, y'all. Just like little by little, the gems are coming. And I love, oral bliss. Actually, when you think about it, there's the oral bliss. Here I go, y'all. I'm about to just, make the doctor feel uncomfortable. But, there is the bliss that comes with the oral fixation. I myself have an oral fixation. I love watching people smoke weed and the smoke expelling from their mouths. But also I have the fixation during sex where I love to focus on their just the ums and the ahs and the sighs of pleasure. And there's something about when you are going down there, whether it's a man or a woman, there is a certain bliss that does come from both mouths. First of all, it's like your mouth is saying the bliss of but also your mouth is receiving such bliss, the love juices that come afterwards. I like that.
So giving is actually receiving, right?
Absolutely.
So that's one of the main things. And sight and touch, the five senses, touch, taste, pressure, feeling from somebody else, hearing the words, or feeling. Those are the key things in regards to how people really can enjoy each other through the five senses. And that's one of the chapters in how to get ahead.
Absolutely.
Very important.
Very, very. But also I want it to be known for the women out there, we always talk about giving up control, but you turn around and you say women have such delicious control using their hands and mouths. No better way.
Delicious control with your hand and mouth, and learning or being comfortable with yourself is the most important part. I'm wanting people to learn the anatomy to improve their intimacy, because it's such an important part to increase confidence and competence in the intimacy department by learning what is pleasurable to your partner, what parts. And actually a whole chapter is on female anatomy and then also male anatomy, learning where the nerves come, where the anatomy can, why is under the head of the penis such a pleasurable location, because all the nerves coalesce there, right on the undersurface. And so there are nerves, vessels, and the most stimulating part there. But also people to learn that the penis is not all you see. There's a lot hidden underneath, right? So there's a lot even behind the scrotum, behind the pubic bone. Just like an iceberg, you see just the tip of the iceberg, but all of it's going beneath. So much pleasure is even there as well.
And I love that you use that anatomy or the example of the iceberg, because first of all, iceberg tip, Titanic, but also,
yes.
To paint the perfect picture, like you say, it's kind of like the female anatomy with our clitoris. There's so many different nerve endings, just like you said with the male, with the penis, so many different nerve endings that we seem to ignore, even as women, even who might be men who love giving head themselves. I feel like there is, we're not just sitting there during the act of sex and like, ooh, let me just pull back the perineum. Let me, fondle. But at the same time, I agree. I think that we do need to take it up a notch in the bedroom and really rediscover each other's bodies. Maybe rediscovering that game of doctor, if you will. I love how you go into thorough, because yesterday, I kid you not, might be a little bit TMI, y'all, but you know me. I'm reading this next to my husband, and we had a little bit of weed. We're listening to some reggae, enjoying. He's sketching our Christmas cards and stuff. Yes, they're coming in late, so you can feel the vibe. And I'm reading you talking about the anatomy, and all I found myself saying multiple times and telling my husband, I want your cock in my mouth now.
Awesome. I'm glad it had that effect. That's the premise of the book, is to help you enjoy even more what you didn't know you were missing, right?
Yes. And it's funny because I personally never really loved giving head to men. Like, I love eating pussy. I love, as a woman, I love giving the pleasure to women. But until I met my husband and even my girlfriend's partner, giving head wasn't really a thing that I really liked to men. As I would say, to me, giving head, it felt like I was just sucking a balloon, and I was never really enjoying it. And even talking to my husband and having that good communication, as we like to emphasize in our relationship, it's nice that we can have these check-ins and talk about not just what's wrong in the relationship, but also talking about what's missing. And, he did say at one point, I want you to devour my cock the way you devour pussy. Can you put a little bit more love, emphasis?
Love into it.
Passion into it. I'm like, never in my life have I been told my oral skills were bad. But it wasn't that my oral skills were bad. It was just more of like, he wanted more passion. And I get it.
The enjoyment of it, the delight. And, men are very visual. So they're going to be looking at your reaction of how enjoyable things are for you. And if you are, very passionate and you have, almost compassion for this amazing organ that we sometimes don't appreciate enough, you want to climb it like Mount Everest, as I state as well in the book. It should be revered. In the history section of the book, it really goes into, Egyptians talked about and wrote about the penis, right? And then the people from Greece actually wore Grecian robes, so it was more accessible.
Right.
And then also from Pompeii, there's beautiful statues everywhere that exemplify the beauty of the organs that we have, and should be happy that is available for pleasure. And so the science behind it is also important too.
I really liked the section about Pompeii, especially because I have been to Pompeii. Now, funny thing, I have. And so I was 17 at the time. So of course, now I'm reading this and I'm like, I don't think we got that on the tour. And I'll tell you guys exactly what we're talking about here. So there's a particular artwork, I might butcher this, the Latin word for brothel, which is lupinar. You talked about it being the wolf den, and in the town there were erotic paintings of different sexual acts celebrating fellatio.
Yes.
I'm going back in my head and I'm like, did I see anybody giving head? Did I see any? How did I miss with my 17-year-old horny brain the same year I lose my virginity on the same trip? How did I miss the fucking picture? Literal fucking.
So, the urologist was actually very interested in all the loveliness that was there, and very interested in the fact that these were accepted norms and really pleasurable experiences, that they actually advertised it in their artwork. And the cultural aspect of it is amazing, and that's why it's not so taboo there. We've made it taboo. There's still 3 states in America that this is not. This is like a crime, right? Unless it's approved by marriage and hidden. Even in that case, there's issues. So until we get away from the taboo of it and accept it as a very important part of our lives, we won't be able to appreciate its beauty, its function. It's able to produce and carry on different generations. And then it's so important for men to feel appreciated even in this manner, because it's not about climbing ladders using a blowjob as a way to get somewhere in life. It's about learning about connection and unimaginable intimacy that you can get, learning about the anatomy and learning about the physiology that happens with an erection and with relationships.
It's funny how you use this terminology of getting ahead, because again, when we use the term getting ahead in the social climate, climbing the social ladder, it's literally to get ahead, to get that bigger pay. Now, when you talk about it in the sexual manner, now we have this bigger problem, unfortunately, with the Me Too movement. I myself am becoming an intimacy coordinator. So I'm looking at sex.
Awesome.
Thank you. I'm starting to look at sex a little bit differently in that lens.
Yes.
And maybe, for yourself over the years, you've seen sex in a different way, in a different lens.
Yes.
So with your book called How to Get Ahead, and now you have things like the Me Too movement and all that, how do you find yourself as a urologist making it more comfortable for women to say, go and give that blowjob? The power is in your body, despite the fact that we do have men, unfortunately, in society using their penis as that,
in the wrong way.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, the important thing is for people to have the medical knowledge and the knowledge that this is not taboo and not to be utilized for anything else other than great pleasure between two people that are connected at a higher level, right? And it's not just to get ahead in jobs and, using it for any kind of professional advancement. It is really about the fun, the energy that you create, the enjoyment. Well, some women don't realize they can probably get more stimulated and more vaginal moisture by licking and seeing the enjoyment on their partner's face by sucking and the stimulation that they can get from giving a blowjob. That they don't realize fellatio is such a good experience for them. They always thought it was for that partner to accept and enjoy, but it really is almost more enjoyment for the giver than the receiver sometimes.
I love that. And it is a kind of ebb and flow, like, talking about giving yourself to someone and sharing such an intimate moment. There is, parts of giving head, if you will, where it can be more sensual, a mutual type of pleasure. It's the, like you said, men wanting to see the visualization of maybe her hand stroking his, penis while it's being devoured in her mouth, and she's slowly taking it out and putting it back in, or rolling her tongue around.
And they like to see breasts and butts and just mobilizing and utilizing your body in a stimulating manner while giving head is a turn on to you, as well as him seeing the movement and the enjoyment. It shouldn't be a job in regards to you just doing a repetitive motion, alternating motions, corkscrewing while dipping in decadent chocolate, and then licking chocolate if you love chocolate, or champagne, dipping the penis in your favorite drink and licking it off and enjoying it. That's such a pleasure to you as well as to him.
Now, we got to pause and tell them, Doc, when you're doing all these things of dipping and dabbling with the foods and the drinks, what do we got to do first? We got to make sure we clean it before we insert.
Very, very important that cleanliness, every man needs to learn this, is paramount before anyone will even go there. If it doesn't smell great, if it doesn't taste great, even asparagus. Asparagus, when somebody drinks or eats asparagus, their seminal fluid tastes different. So it's not a good one before fellatio, or vaginally too.
Absolutely.
Or vaginal pH changes. So anyway, just like how your urine smells when you urinate after eating asparagus, not everybody has that enzyme, asparaginase, but for those who do, those are important things. But cleanliness, Ballsy is a company that has, a nice product that they have for men. It's called Ballsy, which I totally love.
Are we talking BALLS? Why? Ballsy?
SY, Ballsy. It's a great product that has charcoal and really makes men smell great. Ooh. It's a good option before, somebody will want to give.
I love that. Now, going back to the historical context, and again, talking about this beautiful act of fellatio, I myself have been going back and I became a later fan of the show Spartacus that is on Starz. And so now they have re-released a reboot, if you will, House of Asher. And one thing that is very well known, of course, as we were just briefly talking about it, Greek history with sex, is how much full frontal nudity Spartacus has, and really celebrating, if you will, the cock. They have a song that keeps going on season after season. It's like, my cock rages on.
Really?
My cock rages on.
I may need to watch this.
I mean, honestly,
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah,
that sounds like a great option.
It's a great show. If you like the gladiator battles and the the graphicness. But as far as like talking about Grecian culture and talking about the way they talk about sex and celebrate sex, again, that's another show where I'm like, this is true to character of how much eroticism is in everyday life. Sex was not this, trophy thing. It was just the thing they did. You have parties that would turn into orgies, sex openly in the streets, and women getting pleasured in the streets, men getting pleasured in the streets. And now you're, talking about with the Pompeii, the depictions of eroticism in artwork, Japanese culture. We look at the way, I forgot what they call the specific act of the sexual artwork, but all those pictures that depicted fellatio and especially cunnilingus, all of these things being celebrated in different cultures. And like you said, us Americans, we don't have that healthy celebratory sex. We don't celebrate sex at all.
Yes. So Andy Warhol in 1969, appropriate timing for writing that book, actually wrote, about pleasure. Yes. But it was hidden, right? It was hidden, but it was our first view in America to have it acceptable on screen. And then it developed after, that to even more things, right? And so that's one of the things that I think that we have to get used to, learning that this is not taboo. And that's the key thing, is learning more education on the, the slang job was probably one of the main problems, right? Or the ancient cultures, or the social stigma that's been associated with giving head, as you pointed out, using it for advancement. Mm-hmm. But if people realize that that's definitely the taboo part of it, not the act itself being taboo, that I think is very important to learn.
Absolutely. Now, us being, Black Girl Magic over here, we got to talk about our own, culture and how our culture actually affects sex. Sex culture in the Black community, especially when we talk about oral, half of the time it's mostly for the male pleasure. You flipping it to say that giving head can be pleasurable for both parties. How often with your clientele do you have, Black men coming in and talking about, their penile issues, and talking about, getting their lady to please them better, or, just in general, how we have Black men who are scared to talk to any doctor about, their genitalia?
Well, I think that they try to stay away from it, worried about prostate cancer, worried about prostate enlargement in general. And so many times when patients are sent to me for enlargement of their prostate, I bring up the sexual part, because usually sometimes they're afraid to. Mm-hmm. They really want to. You can sense whether they want to or not. And once you bring it up, then they're open to explain what their desires are or what they're missing. And sometimes they are really interested in, even for management of prostate cancer, they'll be worried more about their erectile function than the cancer itself. Yeah. And so I will always explain, we want to preserve erectile function. We are the ones that manage that. We have so many options, from Viagra to penile pumps to injection therapy. There's so many different options, that being alive and well first and managing prostate cancer is so much more of the importance, and then we can deal with the rest as urologists. And so then they'll be a little bit more comfortable. But I think that's so many men that have been diagnosed late for prostate cancer that are Black men, it's because they're afraid of that problem, the erectile problem, their ability to not have pleasure in the future, but not understanding that this is a very important disease that needs to be managed early, whole different management if caught late versus early. And then managing their sexual function is what we are able to help with.
What would you say is the biggest factor, or maybe not biggest factor? What would you say is, are you seeing a change of how younger clientele are coming in to check on their penile health? Because as someone who's been working in the adult industry for years, and I work behind the scenes, I'm noticing a lot of penile erectile dysfunction happening more in the Black males in this community in particular. They're resulting to using more pills and using, the enlargement devices, but also there's this danger. So maybe you can shed some light on that too.
Yes. I've been seeing, a urologist now 30 years, and there are a lot of patients that were always diagnosed with erectile dysfunction at a later age, 60s, 70s. Now we're seeing 20, 30-year-olds with erectile dysfunction. There's so much stress, and they're so focused on OnlyFans and all the things that they see on TV, right? And then when the real girlfriend comes, it's like, oh no, that's not what I expected, and you're not doing what I saw on the social media. And so then they're disappointed, and they're actually needing more devices and more supplements and more medications than ever before. But cortisol, the stress hormone, is what's creating a lot of these problems for men being isolated or not having the confidence to approach women sometimes lately because of their insecurities, right? And so that's where I think a lot of the problems are occurring. Or they see on porn what they don't look like, and then they feel funny about that part of it, and then disconnected and think they need help. But actually, it's a sad deal that the younger guys are needing help now with erections, because it should be, breeze should blow by and they should get an erection. And so now it's become a real social problem for young men.
Yes, I've definitely been noticing it a lot of, and then counteracting it, it's like, especially again, going on to the porn side, and hopefully people listening out there will understand, like, just because these men in porn have very huge cocks, okay? Even the smallest cocks in the porn business have these, these issues. But the problem that we're not talking about is the abuse that these men are doing to their penises and injecting. It's the injecting and the steroid uses even. I'm like, when did steroids being injected into the cock, like, what is going on with that? Like,
well, now they're doing just like how women get fillers for their lips. There's now phallofill, which is a filling of the penis to make it look bigger and fuller. And so this is, I know it's crazy how many things are out there that's available for enlarging size. But most women don't really care about size. They really care about function and interaction and love and connection more than size, actually. And so this fixation with size may have been what they've seen and not realize, average size is 5 to 6, right? Right. Inches. So they may not be that small, or most of it's underneath, like the iceberg, and they need to be stimulated behind the scrotum, extending towards the anus, which is the taint, which is very sensitive for a lot of men, and a lot of play can occur there, and not just what's sticking out too.
Right. Now, for those that are like, I want to get my lady, or I want to get more comfortable with prostate play. I like to, tickle the taint a little bit, but my husband particularly does not like his ass penetrated, so I cannot give him that extra pleasure. But I do like to, try to rub in between, the crevices of the balls where the shaft meets. And I always tell people, do a little come hither, just like you would with the clit. But for the men out there that are like, I want my lady to be more comfortable with backdoor play, or how do I get myself more comfortable with backdoor play to get that achievement? What do you suggest to them?
So most guys that even come to see a urologist are afraid just of a rectal exam with a finger. So a lot of guys are either uncomfortable because they don't want to feel like, oh no, that felt good, so then I'm gay, right? Or, oh, I'm uncomfortable because my doctor put their finger there, right? So they may be uncomfortable in doing play, but there's so many nerves. The nerves that go to the penis go right along the prostate. And so stimulation of the prostate is oftentimes a very good feeling for some men, and maybe the reason gay men like it so much, because they are used to that nice penetration of the area, and why some men actually want to do anal intercourse for women, even because the nerves that coalesce around the anal verge is very stimulating, and the contractility of the wall of the rectum is so powerful that people may like that, but they may be afraid to even explore that avenue.
What would you say as your, talking about your clientele, which I really love that you get into your book without breaking HIPAA, obviously, but I do love how you bring your clientele into this a lot of your play. I think one of them, I'm trying to find one in particular, because again, I was a person that was just reading your book, highlighting after highlighting, and I'm just like, oh my God,
is great.
This is perfect. But
this is perfect. How to get ahead.
How to get ahead. And so I love how you said, everyone has the right fit, which is great. And how you said also, women, we need to stop focusing on the girth and how we need to focus more on the function. There are size queens out there. And I have to say, now in porn, it scares the living shit out of me whenever I'm seeing women with, getting head and men wanting to stretch the mouth a little bit wider. To the point where she's like bleeding.
Accommodate.
Yeah, accommodating.
Oh, no, that's not good.
Yeah, the overly stuffing.
Nothing painful is ever really good.
Yeah.
So learning what, but you know what? It's best to talk about this before you start exploring, because sometimes you may be doing something somebody hates all the time, and that's why they've never been really happy in this relationship, because you didn't really explore what they really liked. Like if somebody likes to be touched softly, and somebody keeps pressing harder, you may not like that, or the vice versa. Somebody likes really firm pressure and you're being soft. So sharing your likes or dislikes before the act is very important, because some people really may not realize, acts of service may be their their love language, right? Or instead of a gift being their love language, they may really just like spending time together and enjoying the things that each other loves. And that's kind of what I wanted to share in the book, is exploring beyond what you're used to enhance your current intimate relationship. How much more pleasure can you get? Maybe not ejaculating can send nerves up your spine, like David Dita says in his, like that may be even more pleasure than actually just coming.
I'm glad that you just mention the way of the superior man, like you said, David. You said Dita.
I don't know if I say it right. I'm an island girl, so I say everything wrong.
No, I love your voice. I love the island voice. Yeah. But I love how you just talked about that, because I'm always loving and giving men advice and telling him about delayed ejaculation, or we need to stop focusing on fucking to come and just fucking for the pleasure, and delaying that pleasure, elongating that pleasure. So when we're talking to, your clients, like you have a client that's sitting down with you talking about their ejaculation problems. Maybe they're saying like, I'm having a partner always forcing me to wanting to come, and I'm over here trying to save my semen.
Enjoy.
Right.
Yes.
How do you deal with those partners that have that miscommunication of what they're trying to do, of delaying the orgasm for more pleasure?
So I start with communication, because if the partner doesn't know that they want them to be pleasured longer, and they just think that they're not sexy enough to make them come, then they may have that insecurity that it's not even related to that. They're really wanting to enjoy the pleasure even more. Or if they want to ejaculate so quickly, but they don't realize there's even more pleasure in not ejaculating, but there's medications. If somebody has trouble with that, you can increase oxytocin for them. So it's more of the love hormone that's being secreted, so they can last longer. Or there's medications that we give, but not all needs to be medication. Sometimes it's knowledge and natural secretion of oxytocin, right? And from the brain, which are the reward drugs in our brain, that as well as dopamine, right? So those things I think are good to learn, because some people may not be aware that that's a component that they may be missing, or they need help with. But we can help with those things. At Quantum Health and Wellness Center, I actually see a lot of patients that talk about their sexual dysfunction. And, some people really need testosterone replacement to help them with fatigue, energy, libido, desire. But some people they worry that, I'm ejaculating too quickly or not quickly enough. I find out what the cause is and try to treat it accordingly.
I like that. Now, would you tell people, clients, that maybe we need to stop shifting the focus of making sex the end goal to come and just enjoying sex?
Sure.
Would you say that?
Yes. I definitely think enjoying all of it is more important than the end goal of ejaculation and just doing sex, because foreplay is very important for getting the mind, body, soul into the physical act. And that's sometimes not being explored for people's potential and their contribution to each other sometimes is lost if it's just, let's do this and get done, so I got to go back to work. There's sometimes for cookies. There are times those are needed.
Right.
But sometimes it's more important to explore each other.
I completely agree. What's funny? Early in my relationship, in talking about my marriage, not my relationship with my girlfriend, but to make it, specific. But early on, we would say we never believed in the art of a quickie. We just, it was just like, no, we can't do a quickie. But now it's like, okay, we can do cookies
Sometimes.
where, sometimes it's a nice tease where, he'll tease me or I'll tease him to not come. And I love that because when we come back to each other and, finish each other off, it's the bigger gratification. Yes. But sometimes I love the fact, like you said, endgame is not to come. Or even how you say at the end of your book, which is perfect about happy endings. It's like, enjoy that happy ending. It shouldn't be like the sex is over. You're just, it's just a continuation.
Happy ending is the ending, right?
Yeah.
So it's the spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical well-being that's so important to be explored.
Absolutely. Now, I want to dive deeper with you, Doc. What would you say in 2026 men need to leave behind about their penises? And let's not just even leave it to men. What should penile owners leave in 2025 coming into 2026? How are we viewing sex and the penis in 2026? What do they need to leave behind?
I think it needs to be revered and appreciated rather than utilitarian. Right. And so I think leaving behind the negative vibes and moving into more infectious positivity, I think is what 2026 should provide for all of us. Mm-hmm. And part of that is learning your partner's desires through, love language and or senses. Maybe that person likes taste and you haven't been providing enough taste for them, or your partner loves vision and you're not dancing in your sexy thong and negligee walking around all hot, right? Or playing your favorite music for your ears, Corinne Bailey Rae or Cardi B, take it, whatever drives you, right? And sometimes the sensual and the sexual are not being interplayed well. And so think about our senses. Our sight, for men, are visual. Women are visual also. Mm-hmm. Smell, scent, whether you like perfumes or just clean, whatever it is. Hearing, music, your favorite song may turn or bring a good memory, and that may turn you on even. And taste and touch. Do you like light pressure? Do you like firm? Those are the things I want people to learn from each other to improve their intimacy long term.
Absolutely. And for those that are like, you know what? My penis is fine. I don't need my penis checked out. And they're scared about getting their penises checked out. How can we make it a little sexier in the bedroom to, do these self-examinations?
So one of the key things is, STDs, people forget about that, right? And so like if you start in a relationship, it's good to explore and look at the penis. Maybe there's a lump on there. Maybe there's a divot. Like if you have HPV, there may be a sign with a, wart appearance, or you may have discharge from the tip. If it's yellow or purulent, they maybe have gonorrhea. So looking at the disease processes to make sure you're having safe and appropriate intercourse with this partner is a good way to start looking, right? So just even looking is very important before you even engulf or enjoy.
I love how she's just being all prim and proper, like, just gobble it, y'all.
Yeah. Gobble me, swallow me, sit on top of me.
I knew I was going to bring it out of her.
That thing that dangles in the back of your throat, like how you said. It's funny. Because that's very important.
It is.
And you can use salt to make it not so sensitive, so you can take it deeper.
So wait, are you saying take a shot of salt first?
Salt on the back of your throat so you can take more. Yeah, little tricks.
I might have to.
And how to get ahead, little tips.
I might have to use that. I just might have to use that and DM you later and say, oh my God, I saw a whole new world with my mouth the other day.
Too funny.
I love that.
There's science-based tips.
Yes, we need more science-based tips, please. More science-based tips in 2026. Absolutely. Yes. Now, also, I'm glad that you mentioned early in relationships, testing. How often, because I cannot emphasize this enough to my earbuds, I don't care if you are in a monogamous relationship. I don't care that you've been married for X amount of years. Yes. How often, especially for men, should a man get tested? If you got a penis, how often should you get that penis checked?
So yearly, over age 40, because you should be checking for prostate cancer. So we need to do rectal exams for people. And so then you get examined to make sure you don't have an HPV that resurfaced from when you were younger, or, you don't have some kind of disease process that you didn't even know existed. And if you're stressed, certain viral illnesses that weren't around before may pop up, such as herpes, or, you may not have known that you had that, and then it surfaces when you're stressed. So even though you're in that monogamous relationship, being evaluated is very important as well. HIV now, that's very important because it still exists, and there are lots of medications to help HIV patients. So you may not even know somebody has that. So if you're in an early relationship, having people evaluated is still very important.
Thank you. I mean, yes. Absolutely. You have to get checked. I cannot express it any more further, especially going to 2026. And we all know that healthcare right now is on the fritz. So if you can get yourself to a clinic, please. And
Black men have a different level of prostate cancer risk. I'm sorry to interrupt, but
no, please interrupt, please.
And over 40, if you have a family history of prostate cancer, you need to be checked at 40, and you need to be checked with a blood test and an exam, because that's very important. There is a lot that are missed and caught late, and then the treatment options are vast difference. But also patients that are at risk with family history, or a brother or uncle, they're more at risk than the regular population. And so you don't just check the number of, 4 of PSA, you need to check velocity. How much did it go up? Did it go from 1 to 2? That's too fast of a jump and could be caught early. So your urologist, if your primary care doctor misses that, a urologist, or us at Quantum Health and Wellness Center, who I educate people about prostate cancer, I have a lot of people that have questions or consult. They don't have enough time with their doctors at the appointment. And so I do consults even for like an hour, just talking about prostate cancer risk factors and what to do to prevent.
I'm so glad that you offer that type of telehealth. I'm assuming, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Telehealth.
I am so glad. And we'll make sure.
I do on Zoom.
Okay. So I'll make sure that we link your website so that people can get in touch with you, because this is extremely important. I cannot stress it, especially as you said, amongst the Black community, prostate cancer, just cancer in general. I mean, folks, we need colon. Yes. Exactly. These are the silent killers of Black folks yearly. Yes. So please get checked, get tested. It's okay. Yes. Get tested, make it sexy, make it a date night. Yes. Get tested. Cannot emphasize that enough.
Can't emphasize.
Oh my goodness. Dr. Suelyn. Oh my goodness. Yes. Dr. Hall, I feel like I just need to keep you in my back pocket. I'm so glad that we made this happen. Thank you so much. I need everybody to get this book. Please get the book, How to Get Ahead. It's on Barnes & Noble, Amazon. Where else can they get it?
Yes, it's on ebooks now as well. So
see, there you go. Perfect little Christmas wish right there in just in your hand. In the dial of your hand.
Great stocking stuffer, right?
Exactly. Literally a great stocking stuffer. What can where can my people get in touch with you? Where can the earbuds find you, stalk you, all that fun stuff?
Yes. So I'm on Instagram, Facebook, but at Quantum Health and Wellness Center, or quantumhealthmhk@gmail.com is our email, but our website, Quantum Health MHK, Quantum Health and Wellness Center, in Manhattan, Kansas, is where I see and actually do Zoom. Even you can live anywhere these days with internet, right? And still see patients in many different states. I have my license in Florida, Kansas, Arizona. So pretty widespread, and can expand my business as I get busier.
I love this. And I will definitely be keeping tabs on you in the future, and maybe bring you back on, because like I said, I feel like we only just got into the surface. Like, we got deep.
I know.
But I feel like we can only get so much deeper. So definitely get How to Get Ahead out now. on all bookstore platforms. So please check that out. And I will make sure to link you guys to Quantum Health so you can get in touch with Dr. Suelyn. Of course, everybody, you can get in touch with me at Ms. Radio Sapphire. That's MsRadioSapphire on Instagram. Of course, at MsRadioSapphire.com. Don't forget, still accepting those votes for Best Adult Podcast for the 2026 AVNs. So make sure you get those daily votes because we need to have Sapphire's Earplay an AVN official winner. We need to have this happen. 15 years, 16 years in the making. Let's make it happen. So make sure to get those votes in. And of course, remember that safe sex is the best hot sex. Till 2026, y'all. Good night. That was the show, all you sexy motherfuckers out there. Remember to follow at Ms. Radio Sapphire and Sapphire's Earplay on Instagram. Want some eargasms of the past and future? Make sure to follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all streaming platforms.